Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is Zillafan85, and today I wanted to go ahead and do a figure I was really excited about doing. This is actually my NECA 1954 Godzilla figure. This one, honestly, believe it or not, this is out of all my my figures of Godzilla, at least I should say. This one is my personal favorite. I really like this. I do like the NECA figures in general. I've got a few of the Godzilla ones, and you know, I've even as well got a couple other figures. I've already reviewed my NECA Friday the 13th Part 3 Jason figure. Other than that, though, let me just go ahead and pull this back a little bit just to try and get a better look at him. Anyway, though, so that was my first time actually tackling a NECA figure. They are a bit, you know, tougher to review than what I'm used to, especially because of all the points of articulation and whatnot. But I did want to start reviewing, you know, more of my standard figures. I'm definitely still going to continue reviewing my Gashapon figures. You know, definitely love those, and I've got plenty more to review on those. But I did want to start reviewing, you know, a bunch of my standard figures as well, and kind of, you know what I mean, kind of mix it up. But like I said, this is my personal favorite, and this is my favorite figure from NECA anyway. You know, some of you might disagree. I think they really hit this one out of the park. I love this design of Godzilla as well. This is what we all consider the prototype Godzilla design, since this is from the original, you know, 54 film, you know, Gojira, or the later English dub Godzilla King of the Monsters. And this design, the Shodai Goji, as it's called, the suit design, it's certainly one of my favorite Godzilla suit designs. It would be actually a top 3 for me. So I really love the suit. You know, and you can see, I think that they did a really nice job on this figure in particular. So like I said, I was really looking forward to trying to review this. So for the Godzilla ones, that's obviously, like I said, not my first time tackling NECA, but certainly my first time tackling you know, from the Godzilla figures from NECA. So gonna do the best I can, but let's go ahead and jump into it. This figure, again, standard size, about 6 to 7 inches tall. So it's definitely got a nice size to it. And I think, like I said, I just think that they did a really nice job. You can kind of see all around him here. So we'll go ahead and start with paint job, like I usually do. For the paint, they got his signature, you know, charcoalish slash greenish paint for his skin tone around his body. So again, you can kind of see around him there. I think they did a really nice job with that. Very much do I like the paint job. And it's got this sort of almost rustic feel, you know, because the film was in black and white, and it almost kind of feels like this was pulled from that. At least I kind of think so anyway. And then otherwise for the paint, you've got sort of this on the you know, the spikes, the dorsal spines. It's almost sort of this, it's sort of the charcoalish color, but it's almost seems like a darker rendition of it, like more charcoalish black. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it's still the same as the skin texture, but it looks a little bit darker to me on the spines here, as you can see. And then they kind of connect up into this more grayish paint as well, which are used for the, you know, to highlight the outline of the spines, so you can kind of see all around there. And the spines basically trickle down. They get more grayish as they go down into the tail, and you can see they kind of taper off a bit. So maybe not perfect down on the tail, as you can kind of see there, the way that they kind of taper off, but I still think it gets the job done nonetheless. So I definitely like that. And then otherwise you got this, you know, again, the sort of grayish paint for the finger claws here, as you can see, and the toe claws as well. So I'm just trying to make sure camera stays in focus for you guys. And again, in the you know, the teeth, also that sort of grayish color, a sort of grayish paint for the tongue as well. as you can see there. So interesting that they didn't do red, but I'm thinking, like I said before, maybe because the film was in black and white, that it kind of seems like they're trying to pull it from that. And then, of course, he's got the black and white eyes, as you can see here, and it really has that signature Shodai Goji look. You know, the black pupils and the white eyes. Yeah, very, very cool looking. I like that close-up, and actually looks like it's focusing pretty well. I'm looking through this screen. Awesome. Awesome. Like I said, so that pretty much covers it for paint. For detail, you can see all around him. Do the best I can here to show you the scaling all around his body. All up into the neck, you got these sort of ridges and such on his neck here, which is very indicative of how that looked in the film. You know, that's the way they made the suit look. You know, he's got this, you know, the original Godzilla, the Shodai Goji, has this very, very mutated look about him as well. And I think they really got that well done here. And you can see the detailing on the spines as well. And it really has that sort of mutated feel about it on the spines. I really, really like that. I love it, actually. You know, I love the way it looked in the film, and I like the way that they did it here. You know, like I said, just to me personally, this is my favorite of the NECA Godzilla figures, and my personal favorite Godzilla figure, you know, at least figure of Godzilla anyway. But anyway, so other than that, the scaling and the spines, like I said, they do have the teeth individually sculpted here. Very nicely done, including those two longer dragon teeth, if you will, in the front. If you guys can kind of see that, like I said, they did add the tongue in there. I like that. There's some detailing inside the mouth as well. Let me try and see if you guys can see. I know it's not the easiest, but there is some detailing there in the mouth. They got the pointy ears that he had. So you can kind of see those as well. Very nicely done. They've got the rivets on top of his head that sort of go into the spines. Really, really like that. Like I said, they've got the sort of flappy, mutated looking skin meshed in with the scales. They got the bumps for his kneecaps there. You can see. So you can kind of see all around just the way that they did it. The lining for the tail as well. The scaling on that. Very, very nice. I really, really like it. Okay, and so I think that covers at least the main points of the detail anyway. So next we'll get into articulation. Obviously this is going to be the tricky part for me because I'm not used to, you know, these type of figures, but definitely a lot of articulation in him. You've got, I kind of showed you already, there's articulation in the mouth here. It can open and close. Could open up pretty wide as well, so however you want to pose him. I usually kind of like with the mouth a little bit open because he had that sort of look in the movie. I love it. And then of course in the head can swivel, rotate. You can kind of get him all the way around. I don't really recommend that, but you can definitely swivel it. You can swivel it at the bottom of the neck as well, where it kind of goes into his shoulders, so that swivels. It's got a nice amount of rotation there as well. Very, very nicely done. And you've got the arms. You've got at the elbow joints. The arms move there. The wrists can rotate. See, the arms, they don't, because of the way that the design is. There's not too much there, but you can move it a little bit. So it's got a little bit of a posability at the elbow joints. You can see where the articulation is there. Like I said, it's just a little bit stiff. But you can get a little bit in the wrists, like I said, move. And the hands as well can close and open somewhat. Sorry about that. Just trying to show all these points of articulation. Like I said, there's a lot in these. You know, definitely really, really fun to mess with. And then, of course, as you can see, too, just the arm at the socket points can rotate as well, so you can move them around. You can sort of get it all the way around there. Like I said, at least Yeah, pretty much. You can get them all the way around. I don't usually recommend, like I said, that Exorcist 360 rotation, but you can definitely mess with that a bit. Let's see, trying to make sure I cover at least most of everything anyway. Then you got the legs. Can rotate. Can't because of the, because he's got those very, the thunder thighs that he's got. He can't really go all the way around with them, but you got a nice amount of rotation there. On the legs, you've got rotation at the knee joint as well. It can swivel around. Very, very cool here. Trying to hopefully make sure you guys can see that. And then you've got in the feet, they can move slightly. So you can kind of... got sort of that walking motion at the ankle. Hopefully you guys can see that a little bit. Okay. And then, of course, I do apologize the camera angle because obviously had to set up a little differently for the standard size figure, so I'm doing the best I can here, folks. But then you've got articulation in the tail. It's got rotation there where it connects to the main body. Pretty much go all the way around there. And it's got these other ball points of articulation within the tail. Really, really cool. We got one right there. Got one right there. So this one, 2, this one, 3. There is, let's see, well, some of the NECA Godzillas have that sort of bendy wire in it too to pose the tail. This one, I don't think not really does this one have it, but it does have the those ball points, though, to rotate the tail in different positions there. I usually like to keep them, in line like some of the other YouTube reviewers like with their figures, so I like that as well. So that, I think, covers just about all the articulation, or at least most of it, what I can muster up anyway. So I have to get more used to doing these kinds of figures. Like I said, not used to it, and usually with the Gashapon figures, there's hardly any, if at all, articulation with those. So we'll kind of move him back there. So just so you can see. Okay. And so anyway, though, so that kind of covers it for that. So like I said, this is in like the 6 to 7 inch range, this figure, standard size. These NECA figures, they are awesome. They're a great alternative, to something that's much more expensive, like any of the X Plus figures or the SH Monster Arts figure. I only have one X Plus figure, and that was a nightmare putting that together, especially when you don't have a blow dryer to try to put the pieces together. And I don't have any SH Monster Arts figures at all. To me, they look really nice, but they're a bit too overpriced. For my liking personally. So the NECA is a nice, much more affordable type of figure. So if you're in the market, and don't want to overpay, this is the way to go if they've got a certain version of Godzilla that you're really, really wanting and you like what they do with their figures. I definitely recommend these. This one, when I got it, I think it was about $25. I got it. Actually, I think it was a gift for me, but I know you can get them. You can get them online on eBay and whatnot. And I've even seen them at places like FYE. Anybody that's familiar with like the store in the mall, FYE, or places like that. I've seen them around. The NECA figures are not usually too hard to find. Like I said, they're pretty common. They're pretty affordable, especially against their more expensive alternatives like X Plus or SH Monster Arts. If you don't want to spend the buku bucks on those, I definitely recommend these as the way to go. This is my personal favorite one. I think this one, they really, really knocked it out of the park, at least as far as I'm concerned. I love this 54 Godzilla. It's my favorite figure of Godzilla that I personally have. And there's just so much good to talk about it. I think that does about wrap it up, though. Obviously we're all aware this was from Gojira / Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla's debut film. the prototype Shodai Goji suit. You know, this is an awesome figure of it. And, you know, I think that does about cover it all, though, folks. So like I said, if you're in the market, I definitely recommend this. NECA is a less expensive, good alternative to go, at least as far as I'm concerned, anyway. But other than that, like I said, I think that does cover it. So, you know, if you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. I do want to thank you so much for watching. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.